What's up? What's going on, everyone? David's still waiting on an invite. I don't know how they're gauging like the invite list. Vercel often like kind of goes down the influencer path, so maybe that like played a factor. I don't know how many people have gotten in so far. I don't really know who. I've seen Colby Fayoc post about it. I think that's about it. So I don't really know how many people or how they choose the people. I don't know. I would imagine like anytime in that situation, it's most useful for a company to get people in early who are potentially going to create content around it. I think that's the most strategic thing to do is to let people in early who are going to like continue the hype, I guess. And maybe I'm one of those people. I don't know. It seemed like a good opportunity to come and try it out. So we'll see how it goes. Kishalay Oddball, good evening. Let me know where you all are from if you're comfortable with it. You don't have to share if you're not. But if you are, feel free to share. I think it's kind of cool to see people from all over the world. So has anyone else in the chat gotten into the V0? I just got the email not that long ago. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know how many people are in or not, but we'll kind of play around with it and see. Pavan is in India. We have a lot of people join from India, which it ought to be pretty late in India right now. Is it like 10, 11 midnight, something like that? It ought to be pretty late. Oddball, Virginia, US of A, nice. Not too far away on Eastern time. So good afternoon to you. I guess I'm going to start to share my screen. And how many people, like, even if you haven't been able to use it, have people heard of V0? I don't know the best way to like, let's see. Maybe we can look at some of the tweets. Is there like a V0 hashtag? Do we know? I know there was a lot of, I saw several videos of people like being super impressed. Michelle, I don't know if she got like early access, but I've seen her post a few times about it. And apparently she used it to help build the site for React Miami, which is an awesome course that's coming up. Oh, Amada Waste. I'm really curious to see how this goes. There's another one. Yes, there's a channel on the wait list. Anyway, there's a lot of a lot of fun stuff to get into. So 11:45 in India. Yeah. If you're happy and you know it, close your ID. Fair enough. So let's just, I don't know. Is there anything, probably not, like worth looking at? Generated code. Oh, so this is probably like the who owns the code type thing. I'm sure they had their lawyers come in. Oh, cool. Walnuts, welcome back. Saw you the other day. Walnuts, they don't have any idea what Vercel is, so this is something new. So we actually won't like really get into what Vercel is as a whole. Vercel, first and foremost, is a hosting platform. So that and Netlify are my two favorite places to host websites, and they both have a very similar setup and feature set of like connect to GitHub repo, does an automatic build, and automatically handles deploying everything and hosting everything. So it's really cool. So Vercel is pretty cool. Vercel is also, I don't know how you phrase it, like the creator or the owner of Next.js. They also employ the creator of SvelteKit and something else. So they like pay him full time to work on SvelteKit. So Vercel does a lot of different things, Next.js being the biggest, and then just hosting in general. And they created this product called V0. Now, Vercel has been super into the AI space. And anyway, they're just continue to kind of build demos and stuff around AI, which is pretty cool. So that's what this is. So this is gonna be really interesting. This is in private alpha, and I think the way this works, and someone can like clarify, I think we like tell it in the chat what we want it to build, and it builds a UI for us. So I'm just looking at one of the examples. Oh, and what's cool about this is it shows you like iterations. That's really cool, actually. So if we look at this one, you can go all the way back. So if you just asked, this is cool. So if you start with like a browser window with some skeleton inside, it does this. So that was prompt 1. And I don't know what the ABC is. Anyway, what is this site about? It's about like building UIs with AI. So like it builds the basic thing. Then you say like, all right, put the entire thing inside of a 300 by 400 container. So it does that, which doesn't look very good. And then I guess the next one is where they specify the pixel. And the next one is where we say add a browser card or add a browser border to the card with traffic. I guess you can't quite see. Anyway, so you can kind of iterate through, and it like does all these things and eventually gets to a point like it probably says like add color, change the text, add the global menu at the top, change the text, remove this, and you get to this. So it's this really cool progression of like kind of getting in the mindset of how do you talk to an AI, and then use it to generate that. And then I guess behind the scenes is the code for this, which obviously is a React component. That makes total sense. Also using Tailwind, which I'm a big fan of Tailwind. I think lots of the people in the chat are. If you're for or against Tailwind, let me know. Anyway, so this is pretty cool. So one of the things I want to do as we test this potentially is, let's go back. I want to introduce the fact that this month I'm going to be streaming, actually starting now and then going on for a few months, but specifically starting this month. I am going to be streaming a lot, or like a lot more for me. So probably a couple times a week, and I'm going to be doing a build in public thing. And I'm going to be working with a couple of brands to do that. One is Zeta, who I've worked with before on several things. I'm a big fan of them. Zeta's in part of the Astro course. They're in a lot of my YouTube video demos. So Zeta's database has a lot of cool features like search and AI stuff that I want to get into. So I'm looking forward to that. I am also going to be working with Sentry. That's going to be fun. This is going to be new for me, but Sentry is super exciting. They are the ones who just acquired Syntax Podcast a few months ago. I guess now it's been like 5 or 6 months probably. Anyway, super excited for that as well. And then may have some other partners to bring on as well. But I'm going to be building something. And my idea at a very broad level is to build software that is going to help individuals and then companies track their experiences at conferences. So I do a lot of conferences myself. I often record like interviews with people, like 1-minute interviews in theory to go on like TikToks or something. So tools to help with that, tools to help with tracking engagement. So like if you meet somebody, how to get their information, how to make notes about what you talked about, how to do follow up, like kind of like a CRM for developers at developer conferences. And then similar thing for companies as they send teams to go into sponsorships and kind of better track their experience at conferences. So I'm going to be building something like that. I have a lot to figure out, and I'll be starting to work on that. Talk about it some today, but then working on it this week. So Joel says no to Tailwind. Fair enough. Walnuts, ABC, do the dance, stick to the beat, just as easy as ABC. What brought that up? I don't know. That's okay. You look good when you make about VS Code. Not sure what that means. You look good when you make about VS. I'm not sure. Anyway, so does anyone have? Here's a lot of the examples here. I think this is going to be really sweet. So does anyone have an idea of something that we can start with? And I'm thinking I could kind of tie this into potentially what I'm going to build and kind of talk about. So here's the first part of what I want to build is a website where you can upload a video and then split the clips into multiple clips. And it's not like an AI generated highlight clip. It's like I do 5 questions with people as one take, and I want to just split those like automatically, eventually using AI to split them, but based on like delimiters that I define. But the first thing I want to do is potentially just create a UI where I can go in and add start, end, start, end, start, end, and then get out each one of those individual clips. So I could start with that. Let's see. How would we phrase this? A website that shows. Sorry, I have a pinch of her quotes. I'm learning English through them. Can Vercel create a basic Facebook layout? Oh, Walnuts, what you said you're learning English. What's your native language? And that's really cool. If I can help with the language part, let me know. Let's do that really quickly. Can you create a Facebook like layout for a social media platform? And I guess I don't need to say create, so just a. And then the cool thing is, again, you go through this like iteration factor. I think I might use this a lot as I go through. So it's generating. You can see here, and I don't know what A, B, and C are. Are those like different? Are those different attempts? Like here's 1 attempt, here's 2 attempts, etc. Huh. Is that like a post in a social media platform? A Facebook like layout for a social media platform. So Dr. Sar is just saying different variations. What's up, Stefan? Okay, so A is finished. I'm definitely looking more towards. So this is, I don't know. Interesting. Can I choose like which one I like? So here's C. And that looks pretty close, like to what I would be looking for. So that's cool. I feel like these are not just different variations, though. I'm not quite clear because the different variation I feel like would just be a different layout, but these seem like pretty different use cases. I mean, I guess B and C are. A is like a totally different use case. That doesn't quite fit, which is interesting. Okay, so which one? Let's say between B or C, and you can also regenerate. Between B and C, which one do you like more? So here is B. And then we can just ask a couple questions to kind of iterate on this and see how it does. But here's B. I don't like the colors in it, like the red color. I think that should definitely be something else. I don't know exactly what. And then here is C. So which one do you think would be better to go forward with? And it is cool because they show you like a couple of people said C. I think I'm with you. So what would you change now? I think we're missing a little bit of style. I think it also looks a little kind of boring. And this is what's hard for me is understanding in my head like what to even ask. So let's say, what is one or what are a couple things you would change? I kind of thought about this middle section being full height because right now it doesn't take up the full height. And I feel like the search thing should be like pushed over so that this can move up all the way. If you want to change a specific item on the generate output, you can click on the arrow in the far right, arrow here, or this arrow. What? Yo. Okay, that's crazy. That's cool. I love what Federico said. Let's say add a few more sample posts and include images with them. So we're going to start with C. Now we're going to V1. It's going to take C and it's going to iterate on that in some capacity. Um, can it recreate? I think what Federico is saying, like in the layout, include images or videos like face. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's going back. So the interesting thing about this is it kind of takes some time. I think this is a really cool exercise as well to just think about how to progress. Like this is a great exercise if you're building something from scratch, just to kind of like have the thought process of how do I evolve in what I'm building. Okay, so this is neat. I wonder if you can do responsiveness on here. One thing I think would be better is move the text in each post to the right of the image. I think like when we have big screens for this, I feel like the image should go on the left and then text on the right. See if we can iterate on that. It's kind of interesting that it has to go through like the whole generation process again. I wonder, just to kind of speed this up, if they could, I don't know. It's like all that stuff has already been generated and it's not making a whole lot of changes for it to go through and do the entire thing again. So I wonder if they could optimize that. Okay, cool. Layout, see more padding. Functionality looks good. We'll come back to padding. Cool. Walnuts wondering whether this will become a paid site later on Pissport CSS. So this would be incredibly useful. I think this is going to be incredibly useful for a lot of people. So don't second guess that. Oh, okay. Dr. Sarge, that's a very good point. Okay. Let's try this. Let's choose pick and edit. Does it have to be done before I can pick? I think it has to be done. Is that it? Still working? I think it like froze on me for a second. I don't know where my prompt went. Is it still generating? I wonder if I can also refresh this. It's pretty crazy or cool that they have like share features, stars, huh? And you can get into the code. Okay, I think this might have hit some sort of bug because something it's not doing its thing anymore. Maybe it is. I wonder if this is saved. Like, can I just research or refresh on this URL? Eh? Try it. Quick thing to add is replace user icons with users round images. Yeah. So it looks like it's still working, or according to this, it is. I'm kind of confused. Arrow, your double diamond disposition reactions of your center prism. Okay, am I missing anything? Like, is it actually still working? Servers might be overloaded. It's interesting because it shows over here, the preview card shows the stuff that hasn't come through over here. Also interesting that it says log in and join the waitlist when I'm already in. So just go to vercel.com, yeah. Okay, but where? I'm confused. Why can't I prompt anymore? Is it me? Did I break it? Huh. Okay, well, I'm not sure what to do about that now. Hmm. Okay, well, we have a little bit that we tested out. I don't know if this one, I'll try to like hard refresh one more time and just see. And then I was thinking about starting over from scratch. It's got everything showing up. There's not like a limit to how many of these I can do in this pre-alpha, is there? Or private alpha? Anyway, okay. I'm gonna try a new thing though. This is really cool. Really cool. Oh, this is nice. Hero section with email input. Maybe this is all the input is willing to generate at the current point. Maybe. I'm not really sure. Okay, let's try again. So I want to a video player with controls to add multiple in and out points and buttons to a and an export button to download individual clips from the video. Video player with controls to add multiple in and out points that will show on top of the video timeline, and an export button to download the clips from the video. Oh, it looks like I might have gotten all unauthenticated. I wonder. Okay, so that was probably what happened. This window also did not close automatically. I should have saved what I just did. No. A video player with controls to add input in and out multiple to add multiple in and out points that are overlaid on top of the video timeline and an export button to download the final clips. See how this goes. Wonder if this thing can create complex custom layouts and styles of awards. What is awards? Like I've seen that before. That's website trends. So just like really fancy stuff. These are pretty intense. Those are fun though. Oh no. I'm gonna save this as feedback later on. Edge function is timed out. Your connection is working correctly. Vercel is working correctly. Okay. Well, that one didn't work. I don't think. This is super cool. It definitely is a very slow. Oh, so I can't see any of these. Huh. So it already feels pretty buggy, which is unfortunate. This is just like a bootstrap template. Add a video player at the top with the timeline right under it. Vercel is the slowest. Toyota Tercel. Is that a Walnuts? Where are you based? Because I don't think like the Tercel or Tercel. That's not a Toyota car in America. So I'd be curious where you are. It's always cool when I go to Europe. I see like brands that we have, but then different models. It's like we have Toyota in the States, but we don't have the Tercel or Tercel, however you pronounce that. So this is view one, still working. From Vercel's documentation, maximum duration for edge function, otherwise requests or timeout. It's application error. Yeah, I would have expected there must be something. Either they have longer, they must be doing something to get around that because these things are obviously taking longer than that. So it may be like a streaming thing where they may hit an edge function, then it like streams updates. So it's probably beyond that limit. I'm not exactly sure. This already gives me an interesting idea though of kind of the timeline down here because I think highlighting color wise the clips that I'm working on, like as I create like in and out point, I think it should highlight that section as a clip. I think that's a good idea. So that would be cool. I feel like this is almost unusable for me right now. Like this says this is still loading. But it doesn't have from Hungary, Eastern Europe. Only seen the interesting, and Breaking Bad. Ah, okay, maybe it's just an older one that I don't know about. Uh yeah, this is really tough. Yeah. Does this work? It does work. Is there a way to select like all those? No. Can you add a timeline for a video that is 10 minutes long in 5-second increments? Oh, the Tercel is from 78 to 99. Okay, so it's definitely been a while. Not one that I'm familiar with. I've never even heard of that. I'm really curious if this is able to do more. Because I kind of hate it's such a cool idea. And the other demos that they have look pretty good. So that didn't add anything. Right? Huh. Is it struggling with like the video aspect? A placeholder for a video player? feel like it's just not getting the video part of this at all. So it's not. It's just done the same thing. Huh. Add a side panel on the right that lists recent videos. I'm just seeing if it's going to make any update. I'm going to stand, by the way. I'm not sure why it's not able to add like something for. Be interesting to know if there are any like specific limitations of this that we should know of. So that's pretty good. Is it considering? Is it considering this like the video placeholder? I'm so confused. Like this is very hard to work with so far. What's interesting is this preview shows something different than what's over here. So if you look in this preview, it has like this recent videos like stacked down below, and it has a timeline thing. Just add Gerald Palmer. Who is? I feel like I should know this. Who is Jared Palmer? What the limits are? That would be good to know. I'm not having much luck with this. I wonder. Am I just choosing things that are just not making sense? Wow. Okay. I'm gonna back out of that. I feel like a lot of these look so good. So this has gone through 20 iterations. The first was make. Oh, the first one may have been give me a tweet. And then make this retweet look like a refresh. Oh, that's where they already did that. Then they added a rounded circle. Replace content with a navel tweet. What is a navel tweet? His team at Vercel created this. Oh, the VP of AI at Vercel. Okay, I didn't know that. Yes, that would be. Sounds like that would be the person to ask. From naval. I don't know what this. Naval Ravicant? What is that? I feel like some of these are. Is the Angel List founder. Okay. The OG. Thank you all for sharing all these names I don't know. Dashboard for a SaaS app. So this is just one, like one take, because there's only a V0. Okay. What is something? What is a more simple thing that we could try to do? Any suggestions? A layout for something that would be useful? A Unicode chessboard. That's cool. Another tweet UI, weather, e-commerce. Create a hero pricing section. Yeah, anything like slightly more fun. Nav hero. Yeah. Cards that flip when you scroll. That's a cool idea. I don't think it can do JavaScript, it doesn't sound like. Netflix front page. YouTube videos to YouTube Shorts converter. Web app. Based on all the video stuff that it just struggle with, I don't know if it'll like do a video player type thing. But that is the thing that I want to build. Is something like that. It did a music player here. V1. I'll make it something that Vincent Van Gogh will like. That's funny. That's a good idea though, to caveat that with like who the target audience is type of thing. Interesting. Can it only do front? Yeah, I think this is only front end. Ray mentioned cards that flip when you scroll. I don't think it does like JavaScript stuff. Hidayutul said do a Netflix. So a Netflix homepage. What Netflix homepage looks like. This homepage or when I'm logged in homepage? I say logged in. So let's try that. Can you use Dolly 3 to string together AI generated images to make a short video? That I don't know. This is playing. Okay. Netflix homepage with a full screen video at the top, then list of videos in different categories. I don't know. They do have an example of colorful spinning boxes, but it gives me a headache while looking at. Oh, I kind of saw that. I wonder if that's CSS or if it actually does use JavaScript. I don't know. Welcome to Netflix. Oh, what? Add this. Whoa, that's cool. They have a command that can grab this code and add it to your project. Okay. I gotta admit, that's super cool. I mean, I guess it looks like it. Like, is this the placeholder you think for the video behind? Probably. So that kind of makes sense. What is that little gap in there? Is that meant to be like the spacer between? Endless movies and TV shows. Is that what it says on the featured content? So I actually probably like the third one the best, except for the fact that it's the placeholder is white in the background. Let's see. Make this 80% height instead of full height. I imagine this only generates React code specifically is what it is. Oh, it just made that width, 80% width instead of height. This should be 100% width and 80% height. Yeah, VZero uses placeholders, no actual images. It makes sense. Um, I believe Jared said images were hard when talking to the prime gen one of his videos. Okay, fair enough. Um, okay, I feel like this is enough to kind of work with. Make this full width. I don't know why it's not getting that. And remove the border radius on the corners. Make this take up the entire width of the page. Remove border radius on the corners. No. Please try it. Just well, how do I adjust my prompt? Rich Harris will not be pleased. Can I go back here and prompt from here? This seems like so much more work than coding it. Right now, it definitely does. This definitely feels it definitely feels questionable right now. I will absolutely give you that. Can you fight the prompt and roast it? If you didn't know how to code it, might be handy. Yeah. Make the video take up the full width of the screen. It's kind of like the idea of this is so cool. I definitely am excited about the idea. The best framework ever. Code Labs, you're a big SvelteKit fan? I'm a big Svelte fan as well. Svelte and SvelteKit. So I'm with you. But this is super buggy. Like within a couple of prompts on either one of the things I've tried. It's not really. I feel like it's not really doing what it should do. I can't get back to like. James broke it. Good game. Thanks for playing, Vercel. Really appreciate it. Can I start back from here? I don't know if this will let me do this. Remove the rounded. Is it going to do that? Is you OpenAI as the Cogen model or Vercel's proprietary? I assume there's something that they built that they train themselves or like customize themselves. I don't have any answers to this. And there's also not a whole lot of like details. Like I've just seen a couple of people post about it. Okay, it's on Product Hunt. Generative user interface system by Vercel Labs, powered by a copies and paste friendly React code based on Shad UN and Tailwind CSS. I don't know what that means. Huh. So that last thing worked, by the way, like just removing. Now, will it let me make this only take up 80% of the height of the screen? Wondering if Svelte is a good framework to get into. If I don't know any, the course I'm doing now will focus on Vue later. Is transition from front-end frameworks hard? That's a great question. The transition between front end frameworks, I don't believe is hard if you have a solid understanding of one. I think that helps makes it infinitely easier to learn another. So I think a solid foundation in one of these is definitely going to be super helpful for you going forward. They should have called Vercel Alpha Buggy. Yeah. Maybe V1 will be better. I would imagine this. And then to be fair, this is in like a private alpha. So this is very early stage. So I wouldn't think much negatively about this. Does it let you deploy the generated code to another pass like DigitalOcean? I don't think so. Can V0 generate a CRUD admin interface for managing one's AI prompts? Is that Code Labs? Is that something that you want to try? We could look into that. I think this is cool. So what's cool about this is this gives me like enough to potentially do for a YouTube video. Like if I was going into design, uh, make this have more vertical. Oh no. Try adjusting. You don't have anywhere. Like I don't have anywhere to go back to once you break. You can delete these. Interesting. Add more vertical padding on the top. Oh, I misspelled that. Are my typos like, or is this just not like in a good state? um, add vertical padding. Oh, that sucks. James is breaking everything. Code Labs, big fan of you mainly because you like Svelte and SvelteKit. Fair enough. Creative tutorials, Christian, what's up? What's up? Um, this sucks. Like I really want this to be a better thing. What was V5? Chef. I'm not sure how to say the rest of your name. Hope you're doing well. Saw your tweet about your situation at Shift. Talk was the best by far, even when I was not at 100%. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. It really is wild how comfortable I felt on stage and how normal I felt on stage versus not being on stage and having a distraction. But I really appreciate that. Thank you for the positive feedback, for being there, etc. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a. I want to see if I can get padding more vertical. Does it just not understand like vertical? I don't know. I'm just trying to make it make sense. Okay. That's good. Now I'm being picky where less padding bottom, where I just wanted to add padding on the top. Will it do that? Did that work? Maybe it did. Yeah, so Colabs, that's what I just did. So I think that makes sense. You have the full screen thing here. I can't get it to do like an 80% for whatever reason. And then like little round these corners. Okay. That works. Then this one around these corners. I assume that'll match. Okay. Make this a play button icon with a transparent background. Just kind of curious, testing out some small stuff. Oh, that's small. What is we had Netflix open originally. Okay, so it's like that. Can I just go back and undo that and go back to 9 and say, and this should be make the background white, the text black, and add a play button icon in the text. Yeah, I don't think this is able to do any JavaScript stuff. Um, play icon should play icon and text should line up. Should play the icon and text out horizontally using Flexbox. Can I tell it to use Flexbox? That'd be interesting. If it would like, hmm, okay. And then, um, nice. Fill this in black. Nope. It's basically just taking Shad CN's components and regurgitating code from Shad CN. Yeah. Which is fine. Props to Shad CN. I still haven't tried it myself. Featured content. Add a black outline to make sure that it's like visible. No, stop it. Maybe this is just something you have to kind of like accept. Give the text a black outline. Zero have, damn it. Are there just certain questions you're not supposed to ask? Maybe we can try something like add class rounded full. To which one? Which one are you trying to add that to? Make the background gray. And add, I guess I can keep it simpler. Why? See, this is so like promising until you get to something that's just not working. Like this is very, very exciting. Yeah, I'm not sure. This would be a fun video though to like build something like this UI with because you can query like the IMDb movie or IMDb international movie database. What is the IMDb API? Is it international? I don't know what that stands for. It would be really nice if it like, because I feel like this can do all the things that I want it to in theory if it just didn't break. Internet Movie DB, thanks. Make the background gray. I don't think that's my prompt. Like that seems like a cop out, to be honest. I mean, I just get to a point where I'm like stuck on an individual design, and that makes it just not useful. Using alongside you and not running into issues myself. Dr. Sarge, you have access to it as well? Should call it a no TM network of tubes movie database. Blocked by client ad blocker. Is that what's going on, you think? Which one do I have? Well, what's like the most common ad blocker? Because I could have sworn I had one. At least on Google Chrome, I did. Where is this window? Block, unlock origin. I don't think those are. See, it's just called ad block, which is what I thought. I wonder. I guess I just don't have that in. Use one blocker for Safari. Blocks anything that says ad. Yeah. I wonder if this will. Huh. I'm very disappointed though. Pause on the site. I'm kind of sad. I was like really looking forward to this. Code Lab, yeah, I would love to ask anything. I would say this is dark mode, by the way. Seems quite janky. I agree. Through broken monitors, shimmering screens, I've made it in here. What's up, Scion? I could ask it, can you make this light mode? Wow. I'm just getting killed here. Like this still won't even load. Then my prompt has gone away. The interface they have seems great though, the way prompted versioning works. I agree 100%. Like I'm really excited about this and I think it's such a good idea. But for me, it's like unusable. Sion, we're trying out V0 from Vercel, which is like their AI UI generator. So, Ray, have you used Framer AI website? I have not. Don't even know AI in seconds. Framer. Okay. I'm kind of curious to see the video actually. Okay. Why don't we try? Oh no, I deleted it. Framer. Let's try this. I kind of want to go back to my video idea. A video editor that shows a video player along with controls to add in and out points and a button and an export button that show up on the video timeline. I like I've never even used Framer. Is Framer what people use for animations and stuff? Is that right? Sure. I agree. Don't send me stuff though. Oh, this is not. Wait, is this what it did for me? Is this? Oh, it's for landing pages. Don't think it can. Okay. I was gonna say. Well, that's cool though. Especially, I like the ability to change like color schemes. That's cool, and fonts and stuff. Oh, this would be a great idea to get like for a demo for a landing page, like without. I think there are two different use cases, but so I can harvest email addresses. That's cool. I like that. Free domain. You can publish this as a site. That's cool. Different use case, but still cool. They have a CMS as well. Oh, interesting. Huh. That's cool. And you can also lay out like build stuff yourself. Yeah, I'm really sad though. Less margin, less padding bottom, margin bottom. I don't know which one it is. Looks like Figma without Adobe. Man, this is tough. I really wanted this to be something I could use right now. Again, it looks so cool with a pop-up. Does this work? Whoa. But that's probably. Oh, interesting. So is it UI? So those UI components come with JavaScript. I've been using Reloom a lot. Reloom and Figma. Never seen this before. Can you see the HTML code? Back on here. We just go back to one of these. You should be able to. Like inside of here. There's the HTML. No, it actually is. It's funny. It's a React component, but it is Next.js because they use like the link component and everything. Every landing page maker claims to be an AI web app coder. Fastest way to design and build a website with Reloom. There's the tab for just HTML. Oh, and then they like, that's hilarious because they just throw it in there like in one line, which obviously is a bug, or is that their way to encourage you to use React instead? Skip this. Generate sitemap. Wireframe. This looks cool. Yeah. That's cool. Seeger's conspiracy to convince you to use prettier. For real. That's hilarious. Did you see that new Svelte runes thing? No, I haven't. Svelte runes. To influence the compiler. Oh, I may have vaguely heard about this. Svelte turn JavaScript into a reactive language for the WebUI framework uses a compiler. I still don't really understand what that means. Svelte being a compiler. Declarative code in a code like this. And to tightly optimize JavaScript that updates document when state like count changes because the compiler can see where count is referenced. The generated code is highly efficient. Okay. I'm bored, James. Do something. Fair enough. I thought I was going to do a lot of stuff, and then I got kind of bored too, to be honest. Because the compiler can see where count is referenced, code is highly efficient. And because we're hijacking syntax like let equals. Wish I could write all my JavaScript like this. Rows with unlock for again. Letter mark. Okay, runes are symbols that influence the Svelte compiler. Svelte today uses let equals, export keyword, and dollar. Rune use function syntax to achieve the same thing. For example, to declare a piece of reactive state, you have a state function. Svelte compile, Svelte DSL to optimize JavaScript. Thus, it is a compiler. So the output of Svelte at build time is there's no Svelte left. Like it's just JavaScript, right? Kind of interesting that V0 created something a lot better based on your prompt for the video editor. Kind of interesting that V0 created something a lot better. Not sure what you mean, Sarge, because I would say it didn't create anything for the Sebastian. Very interesting comment. Probably unnecessarily interesting. So better like counter reactive. Well, no, the reality is the applications grow in complexity. Figuring out which values are reactive could get tricky. So this is Svelte's way of defining or that one in particular is defining a reactive state. Beyond components, runes reactively extends beyond the boundaries of files. Suppose we want to encapsulate our counter logic in a way used between components. Today you use a custom store. Yes. That's the store contract. The return value has a subscribe method. We can reference the store values by prefixing the name. Yes, that is true. This works. Still pretty weird. We found store API can get rather unwieldy. With runes, you can do things like state 0. This is funny because this is just React hooks. Is that not exactly what this is? Am I crazy? Like to me, this is exactly. So okay, so I'm not. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put out my. So Svelte runes is basically just React hooks or no. Here's my tweet for the day. Controversial tweet. Sebastian, a lot of fun to have you here with all of your comments. People were saying the same stuff. It's a bit different than React hooks because the syntax is less scary. Svelte 5 will have runes. I mean, this is definitely my first reaction here of like tag Rich Harris on the tweet. I don't need to call anybody out specifically. Get increment. I mean, this is just like, this feels exactly like hooks. Compile time rate means if you have code that uses $sign label to rerun automatically, I'm just change. I can't believe Svelte is now React no longer a Svelte thing. Getters and setters, we're back to Java. I'll have to dive like more into this later. This is hilarious though. Like, that's so weird because I feel like that was always one of the interesting things about Svelte was the beauty of having stuff be reactive by default, but then no ability to opt out of that, except for the fact that they weren't, I don't think, with the way it works and because it can track where variables used, I don't think it added any like extra code or complexity if you had a state variable in a component, but then didn't do anything with it. If it looks like hooks and smells like hooks. It's like React hooks, except it's build time, whereas React hooks executes at runtime. Monitor died for real now. So are you just messaging? You just sending chat messages without being able to see the monitor? Yeah, so here's a question, Code Labs. The selling point of Svelte is that everything happens at build time, so it doesn't ship a big blob of runtime JavaScript to the browser. I would kind of argue with that a little bit, or maybe open a debate about this. The technical benefit that probably you don't care about until you do, at least until you do, is the fact that it's a compiler. Like that doesn't, for most things that I would build, I would not notice I don't think I would notice a huge performance difference between React and Svelte. I don't think. So to me, the selling point, I mean, that is something to consider when you get down to that point of actually noticing. To me, the benefit of Svelte is the syntax and stores being built in, etc. Catches your mistakes at build time and code time. What kind of mistakes? At build time and React time. I'm not sure I know that one. Syntax being simpler is definitely my thing. I think that's always been the huge selling point for me. Limits how many bugs you actually ship if you can catch them at compile time. So how does Svelte catch stuff at compile time more than TypeScript would do? Somehow back to bubble. It's the move left philosophy that linting is for. Any type safety mistakes and other errors. But isn't like, assuming I'm a TypeScript user, does it go beyond what TypeScript would catch? Like I've used Svelte a good amount. This is funny how like you can love something and still not know the internals of how it works that well. I've used it a lot. I've never been in a situation where I've been like, oh my God, thanks Svelte for catching this, that TypeScript wouldn't have caught. I just don't know what those errors would look like. I don't think it's either or. My understanding is you use TypeScript for your type checking, but Svelte compile also checks more than types. I'm just a pretend developer. Svelte performs extensive static analysis during compilation, which allows it to catch various errors. Cannot check for logic errors. Syntax error catching code time and compile time. These are things I'm not arguing, I don't think. These are things I'd have to like see. I'd have to see like here are 10 things that Svelte would catch, because I can't wrap my head around what it would catch that something else wouldn't catch. So compile time optimizations contribute to improved performance, generate highly optimized. So I get that, like, but I also argue, and this is one of those things of that doesn't matter until it does. And that may, like, the performance implications of Svelte may not matter for most people 90% of the time. It might, like, it just depends on what you're building and maybe how big it is. And my lack of experience here is not working on production level software every day. So understand that I come from a perspective of I haven't built really big things with React or Svelte. So I have a lack of experience there. So I acknowledge that. But a lot of times I feel like it's easy. So just to clarify, I'm not being aggressive like Sebastian is. Who I don't know whether or not it's bothering other people, I don't really care. But Sebastian, I imagine you're reasonably making other people uncomfortable. Maybe you can let me know in the chat, and I can try to do something about that. But I'm not being aggressive about this. I just don't like it. I feel like a lot of the promises of a lot of optimizations like just don't matter for most situations. I'd be curious what people think about that. Like, I guess the question would be like knowing. All right, Ray says if you're building data visualization that need to display a large number of DOM elements that perf gains offered by Svelte compiler can ensure user interaction is snappy and responsive. Yeah, and those are the types of things that I could definitely see. I don't disagree that like at some point it definitely has an impact. So I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just wondering how much of that am I going to notice as a developer slash the consumer of my application? At what point and what sort of use cases does that importance become noticeable or that benefit? 100% agree on developer experience. That's 100% where I am. I love SvelteKit. I think it's amazing to work with. So I definitely agree with that. Prowler, I think, is less about the transpiling that TypeScript does, is actually optimizing your Svelte into plain JavaScript performant fashion. It's similar to how nobody thought they needed tree shaking until they experienced an A/B comparison. Or yeah, I totally get that. Like I understand that it's doing optimized JavaScript, and I agree that it would hit. And maybe that's a good test as well. Is like the same things that I've been building. Maybe it is a noticeable difference on lower power devices. I think if like people argue like I'm specifically using Svelte instead of React because I'm doing something that I'm really paying specific dedicated attention to performance, absolutely. I get it. I don't know that I've hit that limitation or I have a lack of experience that I need to figure out. I know from V0. Well, I couldn't really do much more with V0. Which is unfortunate. Sion, since I'm not a Svelte fan anymore, how's Vue? You're still a Svelte fan. Don't lie. Server side Svelte running on Lambda, I would certainly want that as performant. It's possible because you pay for that. Server side Svelte. So if you're doing SSR, I don't know how this would be a really interesting technical conversation. I don't know how. I might as well just go full screen. Svelte on the server versus React on the server. Do you still have the same benefits? Like, is Svelte on the server and React on the server the same implications as Svelte and React on the browser? Actually, probably a lot less so because your server is more capable. But you are paying for the time. But the runtime of that has got to be, I would think, negligible. Yeah. Ray, I come from an iOS background, learning front-end web dev. It's amazing how many client-side tools there are in open source. Web dev is a different beast. Yeah. Yeah. Oddball V0 definitely, unfortunately, did leave. Not necessarily a bad taste. It's just an unfortunate. Like I wish I was more excited about it. We need to get rich hairs. I would love to have super technical conversations because I don't super technically understand these things right now. I would love to have super technical conversations with people who could really kick my ass with technical conversations. I would love that. Sion, I still don't know what HTMX is. Haven't done anything with it. Ivan says, what is Svelte used for? Svelte is a, do we say framework? Do people debate that? I don't debate that at all. a front end framework. Svelte Kit is also a full stack framework that uses Svelte. Robertables also don't be fooled, and the serverless is free. It certainly is for a zero user app. Yes, with clients that have 10K compute costs from Lambda alone. Absolutely. Yes. Again, there are much bigger implications for things at scale. A lot of it's like when I worked at Planet Scale. From my perspective, not being a database expert and not working on huge projects, it was weird for me to be telling people about Planet Scale can scale to terabytes and terabytes of data. Like, it's just one of those things that doesn't matter until it's done or until it does. And I'm always in this kind of weird, not limbo with that, but like, I don't know. It's just weird. Creative, what's my favorite framework library? Svelte/Svelte Kit is definitely one of them. I'm obviously, if you watch my channel and content all, Astro is huge for me right now, like different use cases. I'm also a big fan of Next.js. Like, I like Next.js as well. So scaling is a harder problem to solve when it comes to databases. Yeah. Roberta will start with the easy stuff for quick iteration. Don't forget newfangled stuff, introduce tech debt that must be refactored if we get to scale. And that's a good problem to have. Yeah, it's always an interesting balance, especially as you're like building a product of like, how much time and energy do I invest in like scale versus just getting started and iterating quickly. So let's see. Can I watch this? And yeah, I am going to, if there's a better way for me to handle this in the future, you can reach out to me in a DM, but I don't know exactly. So I just hid Sebastian's messages. And I don't mind being heckled. I think it's distracting for everybody else, honestly. Credit tutorials, which is easier to scale, NoSQL, SQL. This is the interesting thing too, is like both of them can scale so much that it's hard. I don't know. It also depends on the data. It depends about so many things. Joseph, what's up? Svelte eliminates runtime overhead and includes necessary code for rendering components. Absence of a virtual DOM reconciliation process reduces overhead, improves overall runtime performance. Yeah. Yep. Any other interesting topics? I'm going to wrap up in a minute. Keep an eye out, and I hope people can join me with this on my like build and public journey. We're going to continue to talk about this multiple times a week, where I'm going to start with building tools that for myself, for content that I get out of going to conferences, and then also just for like tracking engagements and impact and relationships at events and sponsorships. So that's the kind of stuff I'm gonna be working on, starting hopefully with a tool that just does the ability to do in, out, in, out, in, out to get clips out of a recorded video. So that's why X keeps crashing. Yeah. Junior devs are now committing ChatGPT code into production repos, are probably creating more future employment for senior devs who will manage future deck and production code. That'll be interesting. The use case of ChatGPT and the impact of that. Absolutely. Ray, is that are you saying that's your Twitter handle? I don't think I can say X handle. Ray Fernando. Did we follow each other already? I do not follow you. I'm following you now. When's Amy going to stream? I don't know if she's streaming on her channel these days or not. We do our podcasts every week, Friday mornings at 11. And yeah, so I need to go downstairs. My wife is about to go on a walk without me. Um, Will Johnson, what's up? Congratulations on emceeing React Miami. That's gonna be super dope. I'm super excited about that. Revertables, give me all your tech up. There's good money to be made cleaning up at a still people. Fair. Hassan in the chat is the legend of AI and AI apps. And I'm gonna send Hassan, I'll send you a message probably in Twitter, like right now. If you I assume you're just joining the stream. If you basically like vZero has been really tough. Unfortunately, I'm super excited about it. It's been really tough. Like it every couple of prompts it breaks on me and I can't do anything. So I wanted to pass along that feedback because I want to see this get better and better. Because the use case for it I like absolutely see and I'm super excited about. Um so I was gonna send you or someone else Vercel wise a message about that because I want to see it come better and better. Dr. SARS can't message me on Twitter. My DMs are open. I don't know why that happens sometimes. Um, you just tag me in something and I can send you a DM, Sarge. How could someone create appreciate feedback? Much appreciated. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if I'm not gonna go through, unfortunately, like tag all the parts in this video, but this would be a good one to watch of some of the struggles that I've had. Cool. Okay, I gotta run. I'm going to take a walk with my wife, and then we're going to Target, I think. But this is fun. Keep doing awesome stuff. I will try this out again, maybe sometime in the future. Hopefully, have a little bit better luck. Also, be working on building public stuff. I'm probably going to get into AI features for that. Hassan, you probably missed part of that conversation, so keep an eye out for that as well. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Good to see you all. I will be on more often, so keep an eye out for that as well. Talk to you later.